First of all, though, chaps, the old whip caused a bit of a controversy today. Tom Kerr says that racing needs to get rid of it in the end for encouragement purposes. I think everyone agrees that a jockey needs to have one for safety and corrective means. But in terms of actually hitting horses to try and get them to get to the winning line a bit quicker, he believes that public perception is such that if racing doesn't tackle it itself, it will be forced to do it. Anyone got a strong view? Keels, where do you stand on the whip?
Well, I mean, I'm not for banning the whip. I don't see problems with the whip itself other than rules being broken all the time. I mean, it's not a big price. We've got a wide open eclipse tomorrow. It's not a big price. There'll be a close finish, and the postscript to the report will say so and so got banned 3 days for overuse of the whip, misuse of the whip, etc. I do bump into people. I mean, I walk a dog, and I think it's probably more to do with dog lovers than anything else. But when I say I work in racing, they say, "Oh, I don't like that sport. It's cruel." Like, I have one or two mates that think the same. I don't think that view is all around. Anybody who doesn't like racing, that's it. I mean, more people probably think it's bent than are worried about the whip. In fairness, and most people are wrong on both counts, obviously. But for me, I think the whip is fine. I think it needs to be policed better. I think we probably do need to start thinking about disqualifying horses if they go way over the allowed amount. But I haven't got no problem with the use of the whip itself.
Do you remember that whip we had when those new air cushion ones came in? We had one, didn't we? You used to be able to whack it as hard as you could against your shin.
I used to let the boys try, take a run up almost and hit me with it, like, you know what I mean. And it didn't hurt. But I mean, if you just
it did make you get your work done faster, though, didn't it?
Yeah, right. But if you just tell somebody in the street, oh yeah, you could hit they won't believe you. They won't believe you until you demonstrate it.
And also, if it doesn't hurt, why bother with it? Anyway, DJ, where do you stand on the whip?
I think actually Tom wrote the piece quite well. I think it's well written. I disagree with him. I think it's public perception, perhaps, but we have to educate them rather than completely change the rules to facilitate them. I think, I suppose you're a cycling fan, Bruce, and a lot of people from the outside looking in at cycling would think that it's an individual sport, but that Chris Froome has no chance of winning the Tour de France without his teammates in Sky. That's the perception from people that don't understand the sport. And I think it's similar in racing.
Yeah, but that's not a damaging perception, is it? I mean, if people don't get team tactics in cycling, that's one thing.
It's the perception that's wrong, is the point I'm making. And the perception is wrong in racing as well, that it's damaging to the horses. We need to educate people.
How are you going to do that, though, DJ? I mean, how are you actually going to get people who are sitting in pubs watching the Grand National or watching racing, oh, I don't like that. How are you going to get them to realise that what we know, that it doesn't, the horses don't get badly marked? This is Tom's point. You're never going to do that. You're never going to achieve that.
But it's like everything else in life. We just need to be more vocal about it and give it more coverage. We need to explain to people that don't understand that this is what happens and that there's no knock-on effects of it. I think, and in fairness to Tom, I think a lot of people probably haven't fully read the article, and in his 4th or 5th paragraph he says, before going any further, I wish to clarify one point. I have no personal desire to see the whip banned. And I think that's the main point of the piece, is that basically that I don't think we do need to ban it. I think we just need to educate people on it, and that's the thing. I don't see the point in banning it. Just because public perception is that it's cruel doesn't mean we should ban it.
Okay, Rob, do you think racing would fall apart? Would Paddy Power stop taking bets on horse racing if there was no whip?
I don't think it'll fall apart, but while it's a very well-written story, as DJ said, I don't see where it's come from. There's been no issues of late, and it just seems to come out of nowhere. You go back to when I was growing up and all those great rides, and there was never a word about overuse of the whip. Now we're talking obviously back in the 80s and that. Obviously more recently, AP and Kieran Fallon were sort of in the headlines numerous times for being banned over it, but I don't see an issue with it, and I just don't see where it's come from. And I don't know who we're trying to please. I think we're trying to please people who aren't really interested in the sport, and we're trying to get them into the sport. And I don't see where it's come from. I don't think it's a story. I wouldn't be in favour of it.
Okie doke. Righto, chaps, thank you very much for that.